What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the very first episode of Living the Dream. I'm live with Andrew Jive, stop motion animator extraordinaire. Andrew does stop motion animations for pretty large companies. Why don't you tell these guys how did you go to school for animation or?
Yeah, so I started in high school just playing with like Super 8 film and making little stop motion movies with friends out of Legos and other stuff. Went to USC for a year, couldn't really afford to stay in college and film school, so I just moved out to New York, started working in commercials for other people, and along the way I would just spend more and more time putting together my own stuff. And once Vine came out, I just started putting up a few little videos, and within a month, Illy Coffee found me. We started doing some animation for them before that, and then it's Samsung, and just every month we just got new clients coming in. And for the past 4 years, we've been doing nothing but making internet animations for people.
That's amazing. And when you say we, how many people is that?
So my buddy Anthony, I've known him since high school. We've always made stuff together. He moved out to New York to start making animation with me. Then we have a friend Josh who does a lot of fabrication, makes a lot of great sets for us. And then besides that, we know a lot of people in Brooklyn, a lot of other filmmakers that we just collaborate with all the time. If we need like some visual effects, sound design, we just bring the team together, kind of come together like Voltron, make a nice project, and everyone goes off and does their own stuff.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So when you started posting on Vine, did you think any of that would happen?
So originally it was just posted on Vine, so my friends could just, when you do stop motion, it takes you a few weeks, really time consuming. So I thought I'd just share little clips, and I thought my friends would check it out and see what I'm doing. None of my friends logged on to Vine, but I met a whole new community of people before I knew it. Instead of just putting little clips of like stuff I was working on for big projects, I just started making 6-second animations before I knew it. Just learned how to tell a story in 6 seconds, and just connected with the whole community of people who were doing the same thing. It was a really amazing community for 4 years. Rest in peace, Vine. We miss it, but social media just keeps growing. So you just follow the wave everywhere it goes.
Yep, follow the needle. So how did you? I guess you said how you got into animation, but what are some of your favorite things about animation?
So I'm from Portland, Oregon, and it rains a lot out there. So when I was a kid, if you had like 9 months of rain, you just go inside, you start making a project, and then once the sun came out, you could show it to people. Now with the internet, you can kind of go indoors for like 8 hours and make a little project.
Right.
And just throw it up on the internet, and before you know it, lots of people are checking you out, giving you comments, letting you know what's working, what's not working, and you can go right back in, readjust, and just improve as you go.
That's super awesome. Hello, Bobby Moons. Thanks for joining us. What are some of the companies that you've worked with?
So I've worked with Samsung, Home Depot, Lowe's, Good Enough, just a whole bunch of brands. Right now we're doing a commercial for Sweeten.com. That's actually to play on TV in like New York and Philly. So that's
big.
kind of big, kind of exciting. I mean, still a local market, but for us,
right?
But, it's always growing. Seeing
Awesome.
What we can do.
What's like the biggest animation that you've done or worked on?
So,
as whatever biggest means to you.
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting ones I've worked on is I did a whole Lego stop motion animation for Conan O'Brien.
I love that one.
It was
man.
for TBS, and it was
I love that one.
I kind of started off as 8-bit, kind of went 16-bit, and then just turned him into sort of a 3D model, and did it all in like 15 seconds. Really fun.
Team Coco.
You can check it out on my website, andrewjive.com.
Definitely. Real quick, just tell everyone your social media, all your stuff.
Yeah, so you can check me out on Twitter or Instagram, YouTube at Andrew Jive, also Snapchat, and then you go to andrewjive.com if you want to check out some of our videos. Instagram is where we post a lot of stuff, daily, so go check it out.
Real quick, guys, please smash the like button if you appreciate this. I can see there's 30 people viewing and there's only 12 likes. I don't like that. So just smash the like button a few times.
And if any of you guys are interested in stop motion, just go to any of my, go to Instagram or my website and just shoot me an email, ask questions. I'm always willing to like share information.
So real quick, guys, I want to tell you how I met Andrew. I just met him really in real life, but I don't remember how I found you, but I liked your animation, obviously, and I reached out to him and he replied. And he replied to me. And so I was like, whoa, this guy, he's replying to me with all these talent. Like, I totally didn't want to like bug you. And so I like thought about like a question that I could ask that wouldn't be like super lazy or whatever. And so I asked him, like, do you have any books you could recommend for me to study animation? And he recommended me some books. So I bought those books, and then later on I found more of those books, and I found other books just probably through Amazon's recommended things, and just because I was hyper aware of animation books. And then I ended up coming across, amassing a small collection of some books, and one day I hit Andrew up, and I was like, dude, I got more books. Like, do you have these books? And he was like, oh, I don't have that one or that one. And I was like, hey, can I mail these to you?
Which was really awesome. Like for me to like reach out to someone and share some information with them, and then just like what happens with most people, once you start a collaboration or meet people, it starts to come back to you. And he got me this awesome Disney book. I've always been good at like taking models and making stuff, but I've been playing around with just sort of illustration, and this book's been very helpful. It's the fundamentals.
Was that The Illusion of Life?
Yeah,
that book?
It's a great book. So every time you share a little bit of information with somebody, you're usually going to get something back yourself, and that's how you grow.
Yep, you're going to come up. You're not a magician. It's okay to share your secrets. Everybody knows anyways, and if not, someone's going to be the one to tell it. So you might as well be you, because that's the world that we're going into.
Yeah, don't worry about people stealing like your ideas or what you do. Like everyone sees the world a little differently. Most of us start off imitation, like seeing the artists that we like or the things that we do. We start to like copy it a little bit or kind of play with it, and before you know it, you start to find your own voice, your own style. So if you try to just lock everything you have inside and not share it with people, you're not going to meet other people. And what I like to do is, once I share information on how I do stuff with other people, it's always great to see how they grow, what they're doing with it. They usually give you a shout out and share where they got the information from. And then just like with Reezy, they come back and give you information that just sort of grows what you're doing yourself. So the more you share, the more you grow.
Yeah, sharing is caring, guys. The Care Bears had it right all along. Any advice for people that are looking to go into animation, as far as what they should be doing to practice, or what they should be doing, on a professional level, as once they start developing some decent animations?
Yeah, so first it goes hand in hand. Learn a technique. So, just practice. Like find little apps. Vine was really great for just use it on the phone. But you can also get this There's this tool, Dragon Frame, which you connect to your computer, connect to like a camera. It's amazing and really helps you. And then also just start to play on our stories. Like story is the most important thing. If you just tell a little story, 6 seconds, 15 seconds, the story will usually inspire the little technique you're playing with, and it'll bring people in and they'll care. So even if the technique is sloppy in the beginning, if you're trying to tell a little story along the way, people will follow and people will see how you grow and how you develop.
Awesome. And so you said you've been doing it full time for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And just basically eating off your craft. And you just had a baby.
Just had a baby, 9-month-old girl.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So soon she'll be a little prop maker playing with Legos in here with us. So.
Awesome. And where do you live at?
I actually live 8 blocks away from here.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so once we found a studio, it's like close to home, and then I can come here, animate, do what I need to do, and still spend a little time with my family.
Right. So I don't want to ask you how much you make or anything, but it's safe to say that you're making enough.
I live in New York City, Brooklyn. It's a very expensive city.
Number one most expensive place in America to live.
Yeah. So I would tell most people, most of us, me too. I had a day job. I worked with other people. I worked for other people. And what I did is, as I tried to follow my passion, once I started getting paid for it, if it was only making 25% of what I made, I would take 25% away from time from other people. And then eventually it was 50-50. I'd work for other people, then I'd do my own stuff. And before I knew it, I was just working for myself. And the more you make, the more you share, and the more brands or friends or other people come and check out what you're doing. And my grandfather always said, if you do what you love, you'll eventually, the money will follow. And I think that's the best way. And also, whatever if you want to be a surfer, if you want to be an animator, if you want to be a lawyer, whatever you want to do, the more you just do it, if you want to be a director, if you want to be an animator, just do it. And the more you do it, the more people will recognize it. And before you know it, that'll be your identity. You've branded yourself. People say, you're an animator. Check out what this guy's doing. Check out what this girl's doing. you know.
So would you recommend people to go to college or to spend that money on equipment and start practicing?
So I think there's lots of different ways. If college is your thing and hitting the classroom and the books, and you can afford it, I say go for college and do what you can. If that's not your thing or you can't afford it, don't let that stop you. For me, went to film school, couldn't afford to stay. At some point, I could have just like got another job and just given up. But for me, I was like, all right, let me just keep following this passion. There's a million different doors into this industry, and with social media, it's allowed me to do this every day.
Infinite. Just like me, guys. I'm out here living the dream on this trip, and it's all because of social media. It's unbelievable. I'm so grateful right now. I can't believe it. Someone said, Casey says, love the Punch Out and Mega Man homages.
Oh, thank you.
Mother's Mustache says, my son Justin, he's 10. He loves making and watching stop motion. He uses anything and everything to make his movies, plasticine, figures, armatures. It's so fun to watch him create.
Yeah.
Just support him, right? Buy him a camera, whatever he needs. Just let him have it so that he can continue to be creative. And just, make sure he follows people like this so he can stay in touch with, it's real. It's not like when you go to school and they tell you you can do anything and you can change the world, whatever, but then they tell you to do it, you got to work 9 to 5 and you got to sleep 8 hours a night. That's 33% of your life. If you want to be successful, sometimes you don't get to sleep.
Yeah, I don't sleep very much. And the way I look at things is like, just practice your art, your craft. And I think for a lot of people becoming an adult, we start to like practice like you practice all these other things that'll make you become an adult, but like you should never give up. If you love art, you shouldn't give up on it. You should practice it every day and incorporate it into your life in some way. And I think all of us need art, even if you don't want to be an artist or an animator. It's daily problem solving. It'll help you in other aspects of your life. So I always look at people and keep the little 6-year-old inside you. It keeps you curious. It keeps you hungry. You're constantly solving problems. That's the best way to go into adult life.
Awesome, man. And you're just like extremely happy, I would imagine, being able to do what you love to do every day.
There's nothing happier than following your passion. And, again, like the money will eventually follow. It doesn't follow quickly for some people, or sometimes it does. But if you're happy, like as it starts to grow, you're just so much more fulfilled in your life and the people you meet.
Yeah, so would you say you're obsessed with animation?
I am obsessed with animation, yeah. It's something I do daily.
Would you say obsession is a key to success?
For some people, I definitely think, for me it is, and for most people I think who are successful, they become obsessed with sports.
Do you dream about animations?
I kind of think some of my dreams do, sort of be-boo-bop.
Awesome.
You put Legos in your mind like while you're sleeping, and then you come in and you just put it together.
I see a pile of Legos and I'm like, what can that Lego do?
Is there any so guys, if you just tuned in, I'm here with Andrew Jive, professional stop motion animator. He rose to fame through Vine, 6-second social media app. He didn't know it was going to happen, right? Like that's the one thing I always tell you guys is you don't know what's going to happen on social media. You just need to be on social media and be demonstrating your talents and connecting with people because the opportunities are endless. Someone said they wanted to do a quick studio tour. Can we look around on the live?
Absolutely.
So you just don't show that?
Just don't show that stuff, yeah.
Okay, don't show that. We got top secret stuff we can't show, guys. Hold on.
We'll be sharing it soon, though.
Yeah, let me switch the camera and I'll... also, real quick, is there any resources like websites or Facebook groups that you recommend? Resources of knowledge for people who want to get into stop motion?
Yeah, I think like some things you can do is... The number one thing you can do is when you find like an animator or anything that person that you like, especially on the internet, just reach out to them. You'll be surprised how many people are willing to share information with you, collaborate with you, and a lot of times you become friends with them. So my first resource is just reach out to the people. Some of them might not respond to you, they're busy or they're jerks or whatever, don't worry about it. But a lot of people, 9 out of 10, they'll respond to you, they'll give you some information, and a lot of times just a dialogue. I think, you just search the internet and type in, animation. There's lots of whenever with problem solving, whenever there's something you can't figure out, go to the internet and just type in that question. 100 people have had the same problem.
Yep, Google still works, guys. Casey Snipes came with a great question. Does Andrew like Paul Robertson's animations, and who are your inspirations?
So I'm gonna check out Paul Robinson now. I'm not sure if I.
Robertson.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, inspirations. Like early on. Like.
Like some Harry Hossin
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Ray Harryhausen, Tim Burton. But then from there, for me, I think like Spike Jonze and Michel Gondry. Even though Spike Jonze didn't do animation, the spirit of Spike Jonze and Michel Gondry, they just took it to the street. They just sort of made things happen. And from there, to me, sort of like when people were like Basquiat, like ignorant art, like just make something he declared in the movie, and he just like passed it out to people, or like graffiti. I look at animation; it doesn't have to just be in a studio. You can like animate in real life. And so for me, I love to like I was a skater in high school. I still skate now. I kind of suck, so I don't do it pro, but I love it. And I think that mentality has always been for me is like just go and do it. You want to start a t-shirt company, make a t-shirt. You want to like ride a skateboard, go with your friends. Before you know it, you start your own company. That's how I've applied my life to stop motion animation. Is just take it to the streets, make it happen, find a little group of people, and it'll grow.
Awesome. We got another question. Says, have you heard of Joel Frisch? He did some characters in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I think I know some of his work. And Nightmare Before Christmas is this amazing movie. To me,
To die for.
The gold standard. A lot of stuff that people are doing at Leica, like Paranorman. I love that movie. Corpse Bride, Coraline.
Coraline. Oh my God, guys! I could watch that entire movie frame by frame. Not even joking.
Yeah.
It's. You know how movies are made, or you make movies yourself. It's hard to kind of watch movies. Do you experience that too? Because you're not watching it. You're looking at the shots. You're trying to see how
you're
they
dissecting
made
it, seeing what they're
analyzing.
doing. Yeah, sometimes you're there with the magic, and other times you're trying to see how the magician does their.
Awesome. Yeah, I love animation, guys. It's a passion of mine. I never took it too seriously, but who knows? Maybe I will. I don't know if you've seen the animation I did for the intro, like with the books spinning around. Like that's probably the most intense animation I did. I did one with a tech deck doing a kickflip, and that was the only one I ever used a rig for. And it was so simple. I did it all on my phone with some stop motion cafe app or something. Just so easy. There's probably 20 apps you can do it with. But the important part is not the software, or it's just the doing. Just get out there and just start making stuff and see if you like it, right? Because even a lot of times you think you like something, and then once you get into it, you find out that you're not so interested in it, right?
And I find with stop motion, I tell most people can be stop motion animators. You just got to put the time in. So a lot of times it can take 8 or 12 hours for like a 6-second animation. But I promise you, the more time you put into it, the more reward when you see that little animation come to life. And people stop and watch it. So
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's so magic. Mother's Mustache said, fantastic Mr. Fox. And I'm not as knowledgeable as you are, but I think when they did, is it King Kong, Harry Hossin back in the day?
Yeah.
That was like an accident, right? That the fur was like ruffling around throughout the whole thing. Basically because they didn't know how else to do it, right?
Exactly. They weren't thinking about how to like bring it down, so like you'd see it all just. But it also added to
right. And now they would like spray it or use plastic fur, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But on Fantastic Mr. Fox, they kind of did a tribute to Harry Hossin and just let it fly for the whole movie.
Yeah.
What does Fantastic Mr. Fox say? He has like some saying. It's super funny.
But yeah, those movies, like there's so much magic in stop motion, and there's so many great people doing amazing work.
Yeah, it's something so magical about seeing an animation, but yet it's real objects in real life, not drawn on paper. Animation itself is amazing, but when you see it done with 3D objects in real life or whatever, it's just, I can't even explain it. Your brain just goes magic.
Yeah, I respect all animation. Like I like CGI, I like illustrations. But for me, there is a certain magic in stop motion, and I think right now everybody loves just things that are handmade. Where like we care about where our food comes from, artisans, people making their own clothes, doing stuff. And with stop motion, it's like the artist hands are there, and sometimes the little imperfections are like what bring it to life more than anything. CGI has taught us that you can make something 100% perfect, which is great sometimes. But sometimes that human element, we make mistakes. That things don't always turn out perfect. Just like in life, it adds character.
What are your thoughts on the Lego movie?
So I'm a fan of the Lego Movie. For me, the best part of the Lego Movie was the credits at the end. I wish they'd make a whole movie just like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I will.
That's in that part they show you how they were making it, right?
Yeah.
And so
And
you see people moving around here and there.
Oh no!
or what?
They actually just show they took a lot of just real Legos and turned it had a
Okay.
record player going, spray
Right.
paint, little graffiti.
Because the movie's not stop motion, it's
Yeah.
CGI, but they
It's-
used high quality photographs of Legos for textures, right?
And they tried to stay really true. If a piece didn't exist in real life, they didn't like cheat it or make
Right.
So they really did try to like work backwards, and just like South Park, they think something perfect and then make it look like construction paper art. And that's the secret to a lot of art is, you can spend a lot of time making it perfect and have the most high tech, but drawing it back and adding those human elements. I think if you're a fan of South Park, that what looks like just little construction paper, they have the most sophisticated software for animation, but they don't show it off. They let it just still be in this little world.
What, was it paper at one time?
It was in the very beginning.
Season 1 and that's it?
I don't even know if it was season 1 or if it was just a pilot that they sent
Right.
around. It's very time consuming to do that, but yeah, you still want to get some of that, some of that dirtiness in there, some of those like imperfections. That's what brings this to life. So when you're starting off on your own, you might not think it's very good, but people still respect the magic that you're bringing to it. So I just say just do it little by little, like anything. You get better as you go.
Someone had mentioned Robot Chicken. You like that?
I love Robot Chicken. Johnny McHone, a guy I know from Vine, he started on Vine. He was doing little toy animation. Check him out. But now he's got a job at Robot Chicken, so he's been doing some animation for them.
Wow, man, those guys are so
So lots of different people living the dream at different levels.
I'd drop everything to go like write comedy and do voices for Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
It'd be
There's
so fun.
Another great Viner who I met in Austin doing an animation thing with Alicia Herber. If you've probably seen her on Vine or Instagram, she, I think, is one of the most amazing animators out there.
So for me, someone had mentioned were interested in checking out some books, but before that, I wanted to touch on this. One of the first things that I saw that was stop motion animation that was like pretty creative was Action League Now.
Yeah.
Do you remember Action League Now?
Like, which one was that? That was.
I think it was on a Nickelodeon show, maybe called Kablam.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta look it up, man. But it's kind of like, I feel like that's what Seth saw before he made Robot Chicken,
Yeah.
because they had the cutouts for the mouth,
Yeah.
low budget stop motion animation, and it was all wild. They're like swimming in the toilet and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken. Yeah, I mean, again, they do some really sophisticated stuff in that show, but just like the mouth with little paper.
Yeah.
That stuff. Because I think what people love about stop motion is you look at it and you're like, I could do that. And most of us want to be inspired and want to just get out there and do something. And I think when you see things that are handmade, like, it inspires you to go out. That's what Michelle
Yeah.
Gondry was for me. I was like, I saw, what Tim Burton and what other people were doing, and I was like, I don't have this kind of equipment. I don't have that. But it's Michelle Gondry. I was like, he's just going outside and shooting stuff, moving around. So that was my starting point. I was like, I can go do that, and then from there, I started building a studio, and so now I do a little of both.
Awesome. Yeah, we're inside his studio right now. It's pretty amazing. If you just tuned in, we're live with Andrew Jive, stop motion animator extraordinaire. Give him a follow at Andrew Jive, Jive. Jive Turkey all the way, killing it. Animation Station. Someone said that were interested in knowing some book recommendations. Like I had mentioned, could you like grab them and bring them over here?
So.
'Cause this is pretty cool, because this is honestly how Celebrity Deathmatch is awesome also. This is like one of the first interactions that me and Andrew had is through animation, through books about animation.
So here's a good one. The Advanced Art of Stop Motion Animation. There's a few different versions of this. They update it as it goes along, but it gives you lots of techniques.
Yeah, you don't need to get the newest one. It's mostly the same information.
Yeah. Of course, it's just fun sometimes to just watch behind the scenes and see what people did. Watching how they make stuff. So find some of your favorite movies and just sort of like search out if they have any behind the scene material. It's always a good inspiration. There's another stop motion. This one is really good for just teaching you how to like work with armatures and clay and just sort of make models. So this is good if you're really handy and you want to make some of your own models, this is great. If you're not good at that stuff, shoot your friends on paper, cut them out, turn them into paper animation. Like whatever level you're at.
This is a good one.
This is a really good one. Yeah. This one really gives you like the history of stop motion. It goes way back and forward.
Yeah, this guy is OG, super OG.
Amazing book. This one I think is a same version of this one in some aspects. Like a lot of these books, they give you a little bit more than the one before. But this one also, a lot of just model making and how some of the secrets on how you can get your armatures and your characters to be a little more advanced.
Awesome, yeah. And if you didn't know, guys, animation is like 2 to 3 parts, but building the props is a very huge thing. So like if you're not a builder, you're gonna have to learn.
Yeah, and then and that's where you can also, a lot of you have like artistic friends. This collaboration. Like some of my friends are way better at building stuff than I am. I bring them on, and they take some ownership in it. Like film is collaborative. So like someone who does. Everyone's gonna have a little bit of ownership. They're gonna bring the same passion to that project as you are. Because they want to see their work get out into the world.
So you give all your helpers equity in the projects they work in, or do you pay hourly?
So I'll pay people hourly or day rates, and then at the same time everyone's building a reel. Like if you want to do sound, if you want to do props, you put a lot of passion into these projects because they're your calling card. You're sending them out so you can make music for other people or make props for other people, animate for other people.
They're basically double dipping on their work, and he wants them to do that.
Yeah.
And it just, if you guys aren't listening, that's how you succeed in life. When you want other people to win, they want you to win.
Yeah, collaboration. Because, if you just try to take ownership and make it all your own, you're going to be the only person out there, trying to sell it off to the world. But if you bring other people along and some of them are more talented than you at different things, everyone's going to share that in the world. It's going to go out in more places, and you're going to, just as happy as you are with your project, you're making people around you happy also because you're giving them an outlet that they can show off their talents.
And being happy is a major key because if you're not happy, what are you working for?
One of my other really big influences, Pez. I don't know if you've seen like Spaghetti Western or Guacamole. But this book is a little bit more contemporary. It shows you different animators, more recent stuff. And Pez done a lot of stuff on YouTube, got nominated for an Oscar, so a lot of places you can go with stop motion.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you want to do a quick tour?
Sure.
Let me flip the camera around. All right, guys, we're going to do a quick tour. We're going to get a little bumpy for a second. Hold on. Bear with me.
And then just don't...
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Just don't go over this with you.
So over here, what do you got over here on this wall?
So this is a lot of Legos, so as some people can tell, I'm really obsessed with like Nintendo characters and bringing them to life. So like here it's like showing just different versions of Ghost that you can sort of put on the wall.
So when you build stuff, you store it.
Yeah, so sometimes I store it when I'm like, have another project coming in or I'm working on stuff. We do a lot of other stuff with like paper animation. So this is all made out of construction paper. We did this project for SanDisk, so we made them, little memory cards and little things.
Nice.
Little drones, So, we like to play around with paper, Legos, We play around with clay. Might not be the best molder, but,
How many Legos would you say that you have over here in storage? I just can't go over that. I'll not safe for you.
Yeah,
okay,
not safe.
cool.
We got a project in.
So I can't go walk over there, guys, to show you all that really cool stuff on the shelf because there is a live shoot, and I do not want to trip over a cord because Andrew will choke me to death with that cord.
Yeah, but pretty much my Lego collection is now worth almost as much as my camera collection. It's growing, and it started with whenever I do a project for somebody with Legos, I'll buy more Legos for that project. So a lot of the Legos have been paid for by companies that have hired me to make animations for them. And
awesome.
I just keep growing it.
And do you buy more Legos every time you need them, or do you take them apart sometimes?
So I take them apart sometimes. Ideally, I wish I could just have a whole storage of everything I've made and never have to take it apart. But that's not practical.
Let's check out some of the other stuff over here.
So there's this other great animator, Josh Mahan. He does a lot of animation with us, Josh Mahan. And
what's his Instagram?
His Instagram, I think he's just Josh Mahan.
How do you spell the last name?
Mahan.
Okay.
Check out his film. You could check out Capsule. It's a little behind the scene things. He also has a film that just came out, Bartleby, that he's done a lot of animation on. But he does a lot of like set making for us and fabrication, and so he's got a whole sci-fi thing going. So he's starting to build these little sets. You know,
We got a little behind the scenes on something he's working for the Super Spro Bros.
and then yeah, this is like another set. He's got this old guy that he's like turned into a model. That's just like the mock-up of it. You know.
Welcome to the space capsule, guys. This stuff is so cool, man.
Check out the robots over there in the corner.
Oh, wow. Look at the robot dudes over here, guys. Beep, boop, beep, boop. And all these are all your tools that you use?
Yep. Lots of different tools for.
Wow, man. And most of the stuff is mostly rest to storage.
Yeah, so this is like a lot of this is like you know, little googly eyes or like little paper when we need it. Computer
Shredded
stuff.
paper.
Yeah. You know, green screen or blue screen if you
Nice.
just want to take it on the go.
Super nice.
You know.
And so one thing I want to touch on is that, like, if someone wants to start making animation, should they go buy a camera, do this or that, or should they just try to make animation with their phone?
I say start with your phone. Start with your phone. There's a lot of great apps out there now. And then from there, just grow. You know, like as you outgrow your phone, you can get Dragon frames and, you know, use any sort of DSLR camera or just like a pocket camera. A lot of people have computers now, but you don't have to have a computer, you know, but you'll grow into it as you go. So don't let anything stop you from trying it.
Awesome. One more time before we turn off the live broadcast, I really appreciate all you guys for being here. Please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the bell down there. But before we break off, is there what's your Instagram and all that again, real quick?
Yeah, so on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, you can find me at Andrew Jive. And then you can find me at Andrew Jive or Lameaholic on YouTube.
Awesome. And I will link all that stuff down there, including links to all those books so that you guys are interested in animation can check out those books. I'm going to have to get a couple of those books myself because he didn't tell me about those ones. But I do have all the rest of the ones. And looking forward to having some free time so that I can actually be able to study some of this stuff.
And here's the book he sent me. This is a really great book.
Yeah, look at it.
So this will help you get over any fear if you're scared of drawing or animating.
Right
here. All the guys at CalArts, you know, the guys at Pixar, Tim Burton, this was like their school book when they were at CalArts right here.
Right. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you so much for bringing us here and letting us come into your studio and sharing some of your passion and energy with my audience.
I just follow this guy. I mean, he inspires me. I've inspired him. Like, you know, and that's how it is. You meet people, and everybody you meet at some aspect, if they're good-willed and like sharing, they're gonna add to your life as you add to them. So, you know, just collaborate.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the very first episode of Living the Dream, live with Andrew Jive. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you.